really like your method too. It's because you're bringing together science and the intuition, right? Because I've attended to one of your breathwork, which combined with movement, with the music. I really, really enjoyed it. What kind of experiences that do you think that people could get from doing it?
Like the word euphoria comes to mind. Like you tap into a euphoric state because we can alter our state of consciousness through breath. A lot of people will come out of some of their early sessions, and if they have any experience with the psychedelic, they will compare it to that. Again, being able to bring up like past memories or just visions of things that you otherwise maybe wouldn't have seen or been aware of. It can be pretty trippy at that. It's hard to describe exactly. I've said it's kind of like trying to tell somebody what chocolate tastes like. You're like, you just have to eat it to have the experience of it.
Yeah.
But it does. It gives you that euphoria, and it can be scary at times if you do have a lot of resistance or things that you maybe aren't used to allowing yourself to feel, which is why I really like incorporating the movement, because I've been a dancer my whole life, and movement is my medicine. And I also became very stoic and shut down a lot of my emotions when I was younger. I think a lot of people do that because it's what society teaches us, like leave it at the door. Nobody wants to see that. People don't have space for other people's deeper emotions. And so being able to have the freedom and the invitation to really just tap into how the body wants to move and opening that up, again, just connects us more deeply to ourselves. We're not supposed to be just like this linear, digestible version that, out in the world says is okay. It's like we are nature too, and so sometimes it's like your body just wants to unwind. Something is in there, and it's like if you just do that, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like my neck is looser after I just did some random movement for like 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I just found that combining those two allowed people a lot more freedom to open up that space, which then also opened up their mind to really drop into that more euphoric state or that higher consciousness, because we also just get caught up in the loops, right? And if we have a limiting belief or a thought pattern and we continue to do it over and over and over again, it's like doing a rep at the gym. You're just strengthening that muscle.
Yeah.
And when you slow down your brain waves and create space, you break apart that thought loop, which then you can like zoom out and look at it and start to see like there's infinite perspectives to have on things. Like there's no one way for anything, right? Yeah, but otherwise, you keep running this unconscious program. If you don't take the time to ever look at it, you're going to live your life thinking that things are very black and white in some areas and that they can't be changed or fixed. And then possibly at the end of your life, you'd be like, oh, wow, I could have done just one shift, 1 degree, and something would have been vastly different.
100%. And what is the one belief that you think people need to release if they want to grow with clarities and confidence?
I think one of the biggest beliefs that's running rampant around the world is not feeling good enough.
Yeah, that's a very relatable.
Yeah,
it's like I'm not good enough, or I'm not, and always wanted to chase to the next goal to prove who we are.
Prove our worth. Yeah.
Prove our worth. And a lot of times I think, whether it's through relationship, career, if things don't go well as needed, a lot of times we like to say, oh, it must be me, or because I'm not good enough, so you don't want to be my friend, I'm not good enough, this thing don't work out. I think that is something we need to release. And a lot of times, whether it's in relationship, friendship, or anywhere, how people treat you, the reciprocation, oftentimes it's a projection of their own inner world. It's not who you are, or it's not about your worth. It's who they are, right? I think that is something that people need to understand and not shrink their worth because of the result.
I agree with that, and people treat us the way we allow them to. So if you are somebody that goes, no, I don't accept that treatment, that also can change the dynamic. And if that person has an issue with that, well, then they're going to be on their way, which is going to be doing everybody a favor by not continuing to engage in that type of relationship if there's disrespect. But yeah, it definitely can be that projection or that mirror of how you feel about yourself, that somebody starts to show up outside of you that way.
Right.
And that's where then you get to go back and look at your relationship with yourself. Where am I treating myself that way, that somebody else thought it was okay to show up and treat me like that outside of me?
And I think that having this honest conversations and that space to ourselves, it allows us to observe the patterns of how we're showing up and how we're treated. And then it gives us more clarities of how we want to be going forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when someone who's starts regulating or be aware of that, oh, you know, that's my nervous system, this is how it works. How does that change the way they showed up in their work?
When you get triggered into a state in your nervous system, like, and relationships are big triggers, you literally will go back into, you may feel like a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 17-year-old, because your nervous system literally takes shape of the age that you are the first time that experience or that anything that felt the same way happened. So if you're stuck in that, like, again, 17-year-old self, having the same thought patterns of a 17-year-old, how you expect to grow or move forward without, again, zooming out and looking at that, it's going to be pretty challenging. Not impossible, but challenging. To think about creativity, if you're stacked full of emotions and energy, there's no space for anything to come through. I think anyone that's creative or an artist or that actually taps into that in any way to bring something out into the world knows that a lot of times it doesn't feel like it's coming from you. Correct. It's coming from somewhere.
Yes.
And I think I said this to you before, is that I love the quote, and I don't know who said which, but I know it had to do with Prince and Michael Jackson, and one of them was like, I gotta write this song right now before the other guy gets it.
Yeah.
And that's so real. Like, there have been other people that I know that have had ideas and then they see it come out in the world, and it's like these ideas are going to be dropped down and then who's going to take action on it? But if you're so stuck and you're in these loops and you have no space, you can't hear, you can't see, you can't sense all of these things. Again, this is where it's like if your higher self is leaving breadcrumbs but you're not paying attention, you might miss an opportunity that could change your life, or an experience that you maybe wanted to have that was right there, but you're just caught in the, well, I'm not good enough, so why would anything ever work out for me?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. You know, what you shared actually reminded me of the analogy when they said, if you want something new, something old must go. Right? So you create that space. It's like when you think about pouring a cup of tea, you won't be able to keep on pouring the tea when the cup is full. So I think the space that you're mentioning, it's that those space inside of us that we need to release, declutter.
Yeah. Well, we're also, everything is energy. And so if you have, like, and again, women are programmed and taught in specific ways, and one I would say is not to show anger. You don't want to be an angry woman or whatever, right? So many like phrases that we have about how to be and who to be. So, okay, so say I get triggered and I'm angry, but I'm not supposed to be angry, so I shove it down. And if I'm all energy and I just want the energy to flow, but it's stuck there, well, how am I going to open up for anything unless I actually like let myself feel that anger? And that's not just perhaps yours, but your mothers or grandmothers and generations past of, you know, mistreatment and having the same rights and being whatever, right? So that's it's really important to just keep the energy flow, because otherwise then we start getting health issues and all kinds of things that can go wrong, right?
That's what I was gonna say, because people end up getting more chronic illness, diseases later on in life. It's that accumulations of all that stuck energies that they weren't able to find an outlet to let go or release, and it builds up, and then eventually impact the health negatively. And then before they know, sometimes it's too late, sometimes it's okay. But we don't want that. We want to clear out that blocked energy before it hits to that point. And I think women, especially, I love talking about women, is because I feel like women play so many roles in society, so many expectations. You know, women needs to be nice, kind, like you said, we're compromising, right? We also need to be financially independent. If you have a family, you're a mother. There's so much expectations, and I think a lot of times the hard work are overlooked by society. Or let's talk about being a parent or being an employees for work. Whether you're an entrepreneur and you're showing up for a client or you work for a company, same thing. It's that all the work that women do behind the scene, all the hard work and stress they have to endure on their shoulder, is humongous. And society will not reward you just because you're being a good mother. But being a good mother takes so much effort than what people think. It's not just I feed my kids. It's just emotionally, physically have to be there to become an emotionally attuned, responsible parent. Because I think that ties back to what you say is the generational pattern, right? Because if you're physically there, but if you're emotionally absent, then your children will not be nourished the way that they wish that if they feel I'm unloved or I'm unseen, if the children have emotion that cannot be answered in a seen way, then they're gonna grow up not knowing how to show love and have that compassion for that. So it just goes on, generation. This is so meaningful conversation because all the pieces that we talk about are actually intertwined. It's like one thing, it's like a domino effect.
I feel like it's like the web of life. Everything is connected.
Yes, everything is connected.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about, it's almost like you're looking at from an upward down, right? But we actually, if we don't take the time to think about it and think it through, we just keep moving how we were told, how we grew up. You know, we have different cultures, different beliefs. Without doing all of that, we just keep on repeating the same pattern through the same, throughout our generations, and there's always got to some point down the road, something is gonna feel blocked, and then come back and see what else I need to do. Yeah. So, I really think what we're talking here, and hopefully that could kind of bring a perspective for me, for all of us to kind of bring that awareness, right? To see, oh, okay, that's good to know. And if that resonates with you, maybe you could explore further in whatever tools and whatever ways that helps.
Yeah, and as I was sharing with you before we started filming, I was doing a session with a group today about identity shift and how we aren't fixed. You know, our identities, we come in as like a blank slate, essentially, right? And it's the experiences that we have that shape who we become. But we're also very adaptable and malleable. So if you're engaging in behaviors or patterns or living a lifestyle that you're like, this just isn't it. Like I want either better for myself, more for myself, or you're caught in cycles that are toxic for you. Having a practice like this and work like this can really help to shift out of that, and that does go 7 generations forward and backwards. And so especially with kids, it's like conscious parenting, I think, is really important to understand, and kids are the teachers. I don't have kids, but kids are our teachers. And I did get a really, really strong intuitive hit one time in breathwork a couple years ago that really stuck with me. That was, be brave enough to expand your consciousness to your kids' level of consciousness rather than bringing them into your own. Because I believe as we go on generationally, we come in more and more conscious. And when we're kids, we are closer to that source. And so I know you're a mom, obviously, and I think it's beautiful to see women who are doing the work to understand their patterns, their behaviors, their programming, to do the best. It's never going to be perfect. That's not the point. To not continually pass that down so that the kids are feeling loved and seen, and also learn how to express themselves so that this doesn't continue in the ways that it has, because there's a reason why these practices are coming so full force in right now, is because the future is from the heart. We've built this world from the mind, the structure that we're in, and now it's gotten to the point where we have to come back into the body and back into the heart, and we have to be heart-centered to move forward, and that's the way that we're going to evolve and be able to sustain human life. If we don't, otherwise we see it already, or we've seen it forever, that if you aren't in your heart, you don't care about other people. When you don't care about other people, you can disregard other people's lives, and then where are we? We're in a world that is completely unsafe. And I don't want that world, and I don't believe you want that world. I don't believe millions of people don't want that world, right? And so if we don't take the time to connect back into ourselves and be in our hearts, then we are disconnecting from each other, and then what world are we leaving for the kids?
Yeah, 100%. And I think what you're sharing here, it's really the fundamental groundwork that we need for ourselves, and not looking for a quick fix of feel better today.
This is a lifestyle change.
It's a lifestyle change. It's a process.
It's like going to the gym. It's like anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's powerful. I love it.
It's your spirit gym.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing your guidance, and your work. Show us when we return to our body, we return to our power.
Absolutely.
And thank you for being here. We'll be back soon with another conversation.